We're going to talk about our DTS primer because we're going to mix some right now, show you how it's mixed. As we mentioned, here's the colors we have available. 3000, 3001, 2, 3, 4, all the colors, gray, black, white, yellow, red, and blue. And here's the combination that can be mixed using this chart. Formulas are on the back. You should probably get 2 of these from your jobber store so you can hang one up face forward and one up backwards so the formulas are right there in front of you. Now, the number one thing that I think is most important before you mix is take your mixing cup. Our ratio here is 4:1 if you're going to use it as a high build primer. And remember what it sticks to. It sticks to most plastics, it sticks to aluminum, it sticks to galvanized steel, most things that we're going to find in the automotive refinish market. Now, because it's a 4:1 ratio, you go on your mixing cup and you find 4:1, and then take a felt tip marker and put a squiggle on each side. That seems like a stupid thing to do, but in reality it's a very smart thing to do, because as long as I've been painting, I have made the mistake where I've checked the other graph when I'm doing my pouring, and you don't want to do that. You want to make sure you're hitting your marks. And the way these work is you've got a 3 and then you've got a 3 right next to it that's got the amount of catalyst that you need, and we're a 4:1 ratio. Now, if I want to use this as a medium build primer, let's say I don't need a high build, I just want to put a little film on there so that I've got enough room to sand without going through, then I go 4:1, 4 parts of the primer, 1 part of the catalyst, and then 1 part of the reducer based on your area, whatever you need. You can use our regular RU reducers if you're in an area that's not important to use the exempt reducers. And we have the exempt reducers in 2 speeds, 300 and 301, fast and slow. And so let's mix. The first thing I like to do is I take small cups and I cut them up so that I don't have to pour and get paint all over. Now, I'm not going to mix very much because all we're painting is a motorcycle gas tank. And we're going to mix it as a sealer, which is 4:1:2. In other words, we're going to double the reducer from the medium solid, and we're going to add more reducer yet, so then it becomes a sealer. It is a perfect sealer. You're going to see how smooth this goes on as a sealer and as a primer. And the thing that we didn't talk about is how easy it sands. It sands like butter. You're going to love sanding it. And is it cure fast? Yes, extremely fast. You're able to paint it within 30 minutes or even faster as a sealer. As a primer, we recommend 2 hours. And of course, that can vary with the number of coats that you put on. The more build, the more time it's going to take to release its solvent and harden up. I prefer overnight. Unless you're in a panic situation and you have a heat light or a bake oven that you can bake things quicker, you can go faster than that. So I'm going to pick my marks here. I'm not going to mix very much, but by dipping into the cup, I actually preserve the rim of this. And so keeping this level, I'm going to scoop enough until I hit my first mark. Because we're just painting a motorcycle gas tank, it'd be totally wasteful to over-catalyze this, because you can't return it to the can, obviously, once you've catalyzed it. So we'll get to the first mark, then we'll add our catalyst. I like to set it down for the final pour so that I'm on a dead level surface and I'm accurate. And once I hit my mark, I'll show you what it is. We're looking for the number 2, and we've hit it. So now, the next step, I need a wastebasket. I'll just use this. The next step is to add our catalyst. And that I just pour directly out of the can. Looking at my mark. Want to go to the next 2. There we go. And because we're using it as a sealer, we're going to go double the amount of normal reducer. So we're going to bring that up. And this cup does have a mark for that. We're going to hit that mark. There we go. We've hit our marks. Now, it's important, and many times this is something that the painters get a little bit casual about. They take the stir stick and they give it a couple of swipes and walk away. I'm fanatical about that, and I like to spend the extra time to make sure that I've got a thorough blending of all these components. Just take a few minutes. And we're not talking about big time here, but we sure would be a terrible mistake. And we have had instances where people have casually stirred the catalyzed material and not gotten a thorough catalyst mix, and then you've got issues. So this is ready to go as a sealer. All we've got to do now is strain it into the paint gun, or if you're using a cup that has a strainer system in it, you really don't have to strain it, but it's something that I've always done, just kind of force of habit. So we're ready to go with the yellow sealer. Our next step is going to be load it into the gun, put on our equipment, and go do the painting.